See, we've been here, we've done that, we've said that. When Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League was getting dragged across the internet, the one thing that was my biggest fear was that someone will be affected by this. I remember specifically in one of my videos where I said, I know we all disagree with a lot of what this game had to offer. In my case, it was a story. But one thing I was basically pointing out was we need to temper the way we approach the criticisms of the games and so forth. And we also need to at least come in with a little bit of sympathy or empathy, however you want to put it, for the possibility that there are people who went into that job to do what it is that they were told. They had nothing to do with the entire game. Do you even know what I said at one point? I said, one thing about this whole thing is developers have to still be paid. Mortgages have to be paid. People have to be taken care of. Some people in the comment section told me, well, if some people lose their mortgage because they brought a bad game to the market, then so be it. I saw those comments. Now we got some devs fired from there, QA testers from the studio. And one of them was actually made redundant while they were on paternity leave. Dude, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. As someone who's a dad, who's taking some short leaves here and there, that is the wildest thing ever. And I don't blame the gamers, by the way. I just feel like those that said those kinds of harsh words, you're kind of cold, that's for sure. But at least the blame goes to Rocksteady and it goes to Warner Brothers. Poor decision making in bringing out this game at such a time. Now, it seems like, so far, the studio is maintaining and holding on to its workforce. They have an out. They may be working on other projects as well, too. That's also another thing. They may be working on other games. They may be working on another title. They may be helping other studios to actually push out a game. But I hope that they're able to steer the ship properly into the right direction. At the same time, to the developers making the Wonder Woman game, you cannot afford to screw it up. The parent company that's backing you is in so much debt. You guys have to knock it out the park. And boy, oh boy, do not. Well, I'm not going to tell y'all what to do. Y'all are adults and you know who you're making the game for. Don't go make a game. Or I guess let me put it this way. I'd recommend that you make a game for the audience that's going to buy it. You make a game for an audience that you perceive to be out there. They're not there. You call them, they won't pick up the phone. That's just the reality in today's market. Even the audiences that will show up. The economy is too tight. So everyone is counting their pennies and everyone's counting their dollars. You see, arguing these days on YouTube is just cheaper. I'm sorry to say, So there's no time to mess around in terms of all of this. So again, I think this is one of those things where a little bit of humble pie will be necessary from the creative direction. We know you can direct a game. You can make decisions for a game. You can write a game. We get it. If it makes you feel special and makes you feel really powerful, wonderful. Just remember that even as much as y'all may be good at what you do, you're not as good as Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who wrote Sherlock Holmes, who, when he killed Sherlock Holmes, a bunch of people unsubscribed from the newspaper that was actually basically, that the stories were published in, the publication, I won't call it a newspaper. Okay? And they saw their subscriber counts go down. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle himself, if he had to suffer that, where he basically wrote his character in a way that he didn't even intend that he was looking for a different audience. He just said, I just got tired of writing. He just basically wanted to write on different characters. And the audience were like, nah, man, you have us invested into this whole universe. So pull up. I'm hoping that those folk who, basically are in this position find themselves somewhere to work in a new job that will treat them with dignity, where if they're doing a creative venture, those creative ventures will be taken with a lot of seriousness. I've lost my job before, even with a child. Shoot, that one was tough. Yeah. I don't know how much of a new kid, that parent is dealing with, but I've lost a job with a kid that was barely 6 months. I know how. I was telling y'all, maybe some of you haven't gone through life, and a lot of young people play a lot of these games, so they'll say things that they don't really know. It is what it is, Just hope that one day you're not on the other end of something that, you can't control, because I guarantee you it's not going to look pretty in a sense. However, this is the product of bad leadership, bad management, bad, decision making, all correlating to somebody losing their job. And you know what the biggest fear is? Because of how much money that game actually lost them, that there might be more of these going on. That's basically the fear. But nobody wants to say it. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope they actually have a purpose for a lot of their developers that will yield something. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.